Despite inflation fears and talk of a looming recession, people are dropping hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars on tiny, limited edition figures called Labubus. That's what they look like. We're seeing long lines, resale markups, viral social media hype for these designer toys that started in Asia and have taken over collectible circles even here in California and in our region. Some pop-up stores and some other stores dedicated just to that. We've got an economic professor joining us right now, David Ling, about why consumers are choosing to drop large amounts of monies on these plush toys. And again, David Ling, Sacramento State professor. You've been there, you're the chair of the economics department, right? You've been there for 23 years. So you know what you're talking about when it comes to the economy. Why are we seeing trends like this? How do they take off?
Yeah, so behavioral economists kind of call this particular concept affordable luxury, where we see that during kind of times that are a little bit iffy or people are worried about the future a little bit, they still want to buy something that they're emotionally attached to. They still want to buy something that makes them feel good about themselves, but they can't afford something super expensive. So they'll substitute into something that's a little less expensive that still has a little bit of a status symbol attachment.
Okay, and I'm thinking about the economic classes that I took in college, and I vaguely remember this was called like a lipstick theory or something like that, because even in a down economy, we would see an increase in lipstick sales, right? It was because, you know, people want to feel like, oh, I'm buying something that's going to make me feel better, but it's not a lot of money.
That's exactly right. Having said that, I never buy lipstick. But it's
one of the trends economists look at, right? Is like lipstick sales.
Another example would be ice cream. We see that when things are kind of going down or people are worried about things going down, that ice cream sales tend to tick up. Then movie ticket sales tend to tick up, especially kind of comedies.
Because people kind of want to forget their reality.
That's right.
They want to make a small investment. Now, but with these Labubus, some people are paying a lot of money for them. And where are they finding this money?
So the people who are spending a lot of money are doing it on the secondary market. So once somebody kind of finds one, because it comes in a box, you don't know what it is when you're getting it. It's like a little lottery ticket. You open it up, you figure out what it is, and then if it is kind of incredibly rare or scarce, we see those people put them for sale, and that's when it turns into more of a collectible. We see more of kind of the high-end collectible sales take place. That tends to not be a kid or what would happen if I went and bought one, but the secondary market.
Do you think, what are your thoughts on if a recession will happen or not?
Well, we live in a world where there's a business cycle. There is going to be a recession. We don't know exactly when that's going to hit. When we start seeing some things like these sort of activities where people are starting to kind of turn to these affordable luxuries, kind of makes you give a little bit of thought that maybe people know something and that we might be heading in that direction. But when we're going to get there, if we're going to get there, how deep it's going to go, that's something that we just don't have a full grip of right now. I
got to tell you, I was at the Morgan Wallen concert over the weekend, and it was sold out, 2 nights sold out. These tickets are, you know, just outrageous prices. How is everyone affording this? That's all I could think of the whole time. Because we talk about these studies, we talk about the economy, and I'm like, who is paying $2,000 for a seat? You know, where's this money coming from?
It's tough, but people are allowed to spend money on whatever goofy thing they want to spend money on.
Totally, I understand that, but
and when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, people are trying to maximize their happiness. They're going to do that by making purchases, and what might seem extravagant for someone, for me, that would be a lot of money to pay for a ticket for a show. For other people, that might be their entire entertainment budget for the year.
Right.
On the flip side, if you look at the amount of money I spend on streaming services in my home, I'd be embarrassed to show you that number. So it just kind of, you know, everyone gets to make their choices.
I got really lucky. I got a $99 ticket. I'm telling you, you just got to wait till the end, and then people just start freaking out and selling their tickets for really low prices.
There you go. But you're Lisa Gonzalez. You get to actually get these special deals, right?
It's StubHub. It's StubHub. We can all use StubHub.
Yeah.
David Ling, thank you so much. We appreciate your insight on the economy and Labubus. All right, let's